Hey, everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm Chris Bello, I'm your host, and welcome to the show. Or should I call it the Chris Bello Show? Once I get it big enough, I'm going to just rename this to the Chris Bello Show, but for now, I'm just going to keep the name that I have. Today, I want to talk to you about a quick productivity hack that I've learned. I've been super busy. I get a question like this all the time that, hey, Chris, I feel distracted. I'm going from one task to the next. And then after you know it, I've wasted a few hours and I feel like I've got no progress because I'm just servicing current client requests and needs. So how do I maintain balance? How do I schedule my time? And I've talked about this before in another episode. I always use a calendar. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. I always use a calendar and I use Google Calendar. I run my day like a school schedule. I go from one task to the next. I time block. I set timers on my phone. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But the hack that I want to mention today is as you are getting busier and you're talking to more and more people, you need a faster and more effective way to communicate, right? So what I personally do when I have 30 unread Facebook messages or emails or text messages that I need to get back to, I'll do this sometimes while I'm walking throughout the house or when I'm walking the dog. I'll have my Bluetooth headphones in, and this is just a $20 pair that I got on Amazon. Nothing fancy, works just fine. Bluetooth headset paired to my phone, and I do the talk to text. It works really well. Just make sure to pronounce your words as well as possible. If you have a thick accent of some sort, I guess you may have some challenges with this, but it shouldn't be too bad if you're good at pronouncing all the words. And at least that's my experience in the English language. It's been pretty solid. Now, don't be like my dad. My dad's pretty smart where he's using leverage and he's actually doing this. He's always talking into his phone and it's typing, but then he just clicks send. He doesn't proofread it. And half the time, 3 or 4 typos don't make any sense. So what I do, I'll be sitting there and I'll be talking and just say something like, hey man, yeah, comma, and it'll put the comma in there. I would love to go to the store and meet up at this time on this date, or let's go get coffee at this time, period, or colon. You can say stuff like if you say period or comma or colon, it's going to put those things in the texts for you. And so I'll go through and I'll respond to people like, hey John, comma, great chatting with you today. Thanks for your time on the Zoom call, period. Let me know when you want to catch up next, comma, how does next week look, question mark. Here is my schedule. And then I have something like, so the hack here that I'm talking about is to do voice to text to shorten it up. That way I'm not sitting there typing with my 2 thumbs, these long messages for each and every person. I'm able to speak it. It types out 95% correctly. And then I'm just looking at it as it types out and I correct any errors as necessary. And I just double click on the word, it highlights the word and I replace it with the right word. And I don't care if I get every little thing correct. I am a grammar Nazi, but I want it just to be understood. And as long as the message is understood, then great. Some friends take it even further. They legitimately send me a voice message where they'll just be talking for a minute straight. And you can do this on WhatsApp and on Facebook Messenger and on Instagram and on texts. But I think on the iPhone, it disappears after like a couple minutes or something for some reason. And that's cool. Like I listen to it and then afterwards it disappears and then I send a voice message back. So some people will be like, hey bro, just wanted to send you quick good vibes. I hope everything's going well. I see you're crushing it. Keep up the good work. And it's like a 1-minute personalized message to you or to another person. It makes a huge impact. Another way you can do it is to send a video. So if you send a little personalized video to somebody over Facebook Messenger, it really just makes a big difference. But yeah, that is my hack for today to automate stuff, to speed up replies and emails, especially if you've got long things that you're working on. To take it a step further, one thing that I did once for the 5 productivity hacks that I recommend, if you downloaded that guide before, and if you haven't, I'm going to give you a quick plug real quick. chrisbello.com/free is where you can get that download. But I remember I had them jotted down. I had the 5 hacks jotted down, just bullet points on a sticky note or something, or on my phone, on the app, my notes app. And when I was at red lights driving through traffic, I would look at the next bullet point. Okay, realistically, I'm not going to lie. I looked at the phone a couple times, just glanced at it while I may have been moving the car, but I just looked at the word and I used that one word to jog my memory. And then I started talking and riffing on it. So if the productivity hack was like delegate or outsource, I'd say, okay, outsource. So what's really important about outsourcing is you make sure you have this and that, and you talk to this person. And that way, when you do something and you send it out, that work all gets done. And I think I remember I spoke 10 or 15 minutes extemporaneously, just straight, off the dome without any notes or anything. And I sent that audio MP3 file to my virtual assistant and I asked him to transcribe it for me. And so he spent an hour or two, I think it's probably even an hour, probably less. He went and he listened to it all. He typed everything out and he emailed me that in a Google Doc or in a Word doc. And now I basically had my free guide. The majority of it, I'd say 80% of it was done. The content was there. And so instead of me having to sit there and look at a blank piece of paper and think of stuff, I had 80% of it done and I could go the next day when I had a fresh mind, read through it, sprinkle a little words here, sprinkle a little bit of verbiage there, add a couple of sentences, and boom, had the free guide, added a couple photos. I probably spent an hour or two tops getting that thing together. And I like to think that it's pretty fire. Like if you read through that and you apply the lessons that I am teaching in there, you're going to see huge increases in productivity in various areas of your life. And that's why I really have a passion for productivity and why I can see myself spending more time in that space is because I'm all about saving time, doing things faster, outsourcing, paying other people to do things that I don't want to do, and just, making it happen, living the dream every single day. So with that being said, make sure when you're thinking about all these emails, all these texts, all these Facebook messages that you have to reply to, family, friends, Snapchat, Instagram, it's crazy. It's overwhelming, right? You can't get back to them all the time. And when I interviewed Dan Fleischman here recently, he showed me his phone. He had over 1,000 unread text messages. Oh gosh. I finally gave up on one of my email accounts where it's just like 600 unread emails. It just got out of control. I unsubscribed from a million things and it doesn't make a dent at all in that email inbox. And so now I started a new inbox, a new email. It's fresh. I only have good emails on there. There's no spam. And I just accept at the end of the day that I can't get inbox zero all the time. It's literally impossible unless I spend all day, every day, and had AI and robots and machines helping me to read and respond to these messages. I just physically can't. And even if I physically could, it might not be the best use of my time to sit there and reply to every single one of these messages. If it's important, they're going to text me. If it's important, they're going to forward the email to me like 3 times, and then I'm going to make sure I see it when it's fresh. If it gets buried in the inbox and they never follow up, chances are it probably wasn't that important. If it's important, it's going to be sent to you multiple times. People will call you, text you. And so you kind of prioritize within your inbox as well and within your messages. Like if mom texts me, maybe I don't reply right away. I get some work done. I focus on my tasks. If I see my friend calling me, I ignore that because I'm in the zone. And then I call them back. I call mom back, text her back later. Doing great. How are you? A little bit of the small talk, checking in. And that's my hacks for you today. I hope you found that valuable. If you have any topics you want me to cover, please be sure to let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Let me know what's on your mind, what bothers you, what keeps you up at night, what you're stressing about, what you're worried about. And I'll do my best to either answer it and how I would address that situation, or I can bring on a subject matter expert who knows it better than me, and we'll make it happen. So finish out the week strong. I hope everyone's doing well. And I'll talk to you on the next episode of the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. Peace.